Hello again. Welcome back to Story Time with Aunt Becky. How are you all doing? We've been doing pretty good here. Had good weather. No rain, no snow, no storms. We're doing okay. I Tonight, I believe, is the first night of Hanukkah. For those of you that don't celebrate Christmas and are Jewish, or if you're not Jewish and you don't celebrate Christmas and you do celebrate Hanukkah, well, I've got a story for you called A Family Hanukkah. I got this, ironically, for Christmas several years ago. I don't remember by who. But anyway, I have enjoyed the story of the book, and it gave me an appreciation for what other people believe. My husband and I actually bought a menorah this year, but it was very cheaply made, so we sent it back. And we don't have it, so. But I'll tell you this. There was this show about called It's a Miracle. If you've ever seen The Waltons, the guy that plays John Boy, Richard Thomas, is on there. And he hosts the show, and they had an episode about a family that came to town. And they had a menorah where it was electric, and they screwed the little light bulbs on. And that's the kind of menorah I was looking for. But that show's pretty old. Probably back in the 80s, early 90s. So I don't know if you can find that kind of menorah anymore. Most of them have candles, like is shown in this picture. And I apologize because this is a back-facing video. Everything is backwards to you. So, but I do put in the title of the video the name of the book and who, in the description, who wrote it, and the copyright date and who illustrated it and whoever has the book. Like, this is Random House, New York. So if you're ever wanting to look for stuff, but good luck, because some of the books I read to you, you cannot find them anymore. That's why I thought I'd share, because I enjoyed the stories. So without further ado, let us read A Family Hanukkah. This is written by Bobbi Katz. Katz. The days were growing shorter and shorter. The time for Hanukkah was growing closer. Jonathan and Rachel could hardly wait. Of all the Jewish holidays, Hanukkah was the most fun. There were 8 days of festivities, special songs, presents, games, and food. And each day another new candle was added to the family menorah. They're out shopping. I'm guessing this is Jonathan and Rachel. They probably get along a lot better than me and my siblings did there for a while. The whole family always celebrated the first night of Hanukkah at Grandma and Grandpa's big old house. With so many relatives, it wasn't easy to find presents for everyone. "Let's make a list," said Rachel. "It's like a game to think of something little and nice, something each person will like," said Jonathan. There they are, figuring it out. They've got a puppy dog, and here is their menorah. It's not time for Hanukkah yet, so they don't have any candles in it. The next day, Rachel and Jonathan went shopping. They found some neat things they could afford. A plastic fish for Fisherman Grandpa, flower seeds for Aunt Liz and Uncle Bob, a bookmark for Dad, and a nifty pincushion for Mom. But there were other things on their list that cost more than they had expected. Yes, they found some things. There's the fish and the pincushion and the flower seeds. Some of the things. They take their dog with them. He's got his leash in his mouth. So they started making gifts. Chocolate molds on sticks and masks for their cousins and a beanbag bunny for the baby. By pressing cloves into an orange, they made a spicy-smelling pomander for Grandma to hang in her closet on a ribbon. Jonathan's making the chocolate molds. This is the orange. I think people still do that today. She's making some masks, and there's the stuffed bunny. At last the day came that would end with the beginning of Hanukkah. Dressed in their best, the kids and their parents piled into the car for the ride to Grandma and Grandpa's house in the country. And they're going to take the dog with them. They must live in the city. The countryside looked faded and frozen under a pale sky, but inside the car, spirits were warm and bright. They don't have any snow. And there's something that, if you celebrate Hanukkah instead of Christmas, something you get that's extra. That lasts for 8 days. Christmas is 1 day. So this is probably more fun. As soon as the car pulled into the driveway, the relatives scrambled out of the house to welcome the new arrivals. After giving hugs and kisses to the grown-ups, all of the children, except the baby, who was tucked in for a nap, went for a walk in the park with Grandpa. They have a nice big house where the whole family can gather. Yeah, there's the puppy dog. I think this is the baby. And there they have arrived. Do you hug and kiss your relatives when they show up? I never lived close to any of mine, so it was a big deal when, they came or we came to visit. So we always went. They came piling out of the house to meet us, and that was always exciting. "How come all you kids are visiting us today?" teased Grandpa as they tramped through a carpet of crunchy brown leaves. "Oh, Gramps, it's Hanukkah," said Molly, the littlest cousin. "Hanukkah?" asked Grandpa, pretending to be puzzled. "What's Hanukkah?" "The Festival of Lights," answered Jonathan, playing along with him. "We celebrate Hanukkah because of a miracle that happened long, long ago in Jerusalem." "Come on, Gramps, tell us about it," begged Molly's sister Lisa. "Well," said Grandpa, "it was like this." Looks like they're in a park. There's many people there. And they brought the dog along, of course. The mighty Syrian army had conquered little Judea. Their king, Antiochus, I'm probably butchering these names, had ordered idols of Greek gods to be placed in the Holy Temple. The Jews refused to worship the statues, but there was no way they could stop the Syrian soldiers from taking over the temple and sacrificing pigs and chickens to their idols. Meanwhile, the Jews were forbidden to worship God anywhere. The punishment for disobeying was death. Here's the soldiers coming in. And here's the pig they've brought. And this is the statue of their idol, if it's not too glary there. The Jews are leaving the temple. A man called Matthias, and I'm sure that's wrong, a man called Mattathias, and his 5 strong sons formed a rebel band, the Maccabees. The word Maccabee means hammer in Hebrew. So you've learned a new word today. Maccabee means hammer. The Maccabees hid in caves by day and struck at night. Shepherds, farmers, craftsmen, and shopkeepers slipped away to join them. "Put an end to those Maccabees," ordered King Antiochus. A huge Syrian army with horsemen and elephants massed in the valley below Jerusalem. But the hammer struck first. The army, elephants and all, were driven away in defeat. Here's the elephants and the soldiers. And here's the Maccabees coming out. You see they got the Jewish stars on their shields. "Then what happened?" asked Jonathan. Grandpa continued. "The happy people rushed to their temple. They threw away the statues, chased out the animals, and scrubbed the blood from the altar. But when it was time to rededicate the temple to God by lighting the ever-burning light, they could only find 1 jug of sacred olive oil, just enough for 1 day. It would take the priests a whole week to prepare a new supply. Yet somehow the ever-burning light kept on burning, day after day, for 8 days, until the new sacred oil was ready. A miracle." Here they're chopping up the statues, chasing the pigs out. And here's the the candlestick. They call it a menorah now, but in the Bible times it was a candlestick that was in the temple. And they call it a menorah. So that lasted 8 days, which explains Hanukkah. And Jewish families like ours have been celebrating that Nes Gadol, that great miracle, ever since, added Grandpa. Nes Gadol Hayasham. A great miracle happened there. The first letter of each word is on your dreidels. I can't wait to play, said Molly. You won't have to wait long, said Grandpa, looking at the sky. It's almost time to light the candles. Let's go. There's the dog chilling on the ground. There's Grandpa and his grandchildren. It's like he's got 4 granddaughters and a grandson. And this is a dreidel that she is holding. The house smelled like a cinnamon apple onion bouquet. While each of the visiting relatives had brought a part of the meal, Grandma herself always made the traditional Hanukkah foods: pot roast, applesauce, and latkes. Latkes are crispy potato pancakes, and Grandma's were perfect. Makes you hungry, doesn't it? There's Grandma. She's fixing up. I think this is the latkes. There's the dog. He's in there waiting. You see, Jonathan's got the yarmulke, a yarmulke on the back of his head. There's the baby. That's probably a boy baby. So maybe Jonathan isn't the only grandson. He's just the oldest. At sunset, everyone joined Grandpa in singing the prayer as he lit the shamus, or caretaker candle, and then used it to light the first candle in the menorah. Baby Emma, it is a girl, so Jonathan's the only boy. Baby Emma banged her spoon with joy as the family sang Rock of Ages. Next, the delicious meal began. The latkes kept disappearing, but Grandma piled more and more on the platter. I can't eat another bite, said Rachel, and neither could anyone else. And they're on both sides of the table. Well, Grandpa, he's wearing a yarmulke too. He's got the shamus. That one goes in the middle, and it lights the other candles. See, it's the first night, so he's lit that first candle. As soon as the table was cleared, it was time to exchange presents. There were lots of little surprises, but all the kids were most delighted by something that was not a surprise. Hanukkah Geld. The chocolate money, it's not really money, was wrapped in gold foil. The chocolate money wrapped in gold foil is a reminder of the days when Jews were not allowed to worship God. When I was young, I got some chocolate money in my sock. It kind of looks like it's coins and it's foil. It's like aluminum foil. Looks like money. But I had no idea that that's what that meant. Supposedly, they fooled the Syrians by gathering in small groups and pretending to gamble by tossing some coins on the ground and spinning a top called a dreidel. See, here's some of that chocolate money right here. They're opening the gifts. See, there's some of the chocolate moles. There's that bunny and some masks. Looks like even the dog's got a present, or he's trying to open one. Is it time to spin the dreidel? Asked Molly. A chorus of yes, yes, yes was the answer. Everyone took nuts from a big bowl. Around and around spun the dreidel as each person took a turn, winning, losing, or keeping, according to how the dreidel landed. Before long, a very happy and very tired, Molly had a big pile of nuts in front of her. Here's Molly. Looks like she's taking a turn spinning the dreidel, and she has quite a pile of nuts. They don't gamble for real. That was just pretend. The candles in the menorah burned lower as the family wished each other a happy holiday and left for their own homes. The first night of Hanukkah was ending, but there were 7 more days to come. And there's Grandpa. He's got his yarmulke on him. Him and Grandma waving goodbye. Everybody's leaving. But there's 7 more nights. Each night another candle would be added to the menorah until 8 candles burned in one bright row with the shamus burning above it. And here's a picture at the end. All the candles. They've got different colored ones. We were looking last year for a menorah, and we found some candles. They're very skinny. They're about I think they were about 3 or 4 inches high, very skinny, kind of like as maybe a little bit bigger around than birthday cake candles, and they were white. We didn't see any that were colored, but they found some colored ones. So there is a Family Hanukkah, so maybe you have learned something. And I know when I read this book for the first time, I learned something. And sometimes you learn something every time you read a book, even if it's for the first time. And I hope you've enjoyed that, and I will be back again another time to read you some more stories. And I hope you have a wonderful holiday season, whether you celebrate Christmas or Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, or nothing at all. But you should find something to celebrate, because life is no fun without at least one celebration or two. But anyway, happy holidays. Bye.